if you go out sailing, you're going to have to come back in at some point. So we're going to take a look at approaching the moorings or beach. Yeah, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. Today we're just going to have a look at how to approach the moorings here at Wildwind in the onshore wind. So this will be the same as if you're somewhere else with an onshore wind, and we've got moorings on the beach where there's other boats there might be other boats coming in or out. So it is an area where people do constantly get it wrong. So we're just going to take a look at what the technique is there. Okay, so I'm on a Hobie 15. The wind is probably something like 8 to 10 knots. And as I said, wind directly onshore. So let's have a look. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to start planning our approach from quite a long way out. So we could just sail straight back in here, but then we'll be coming in on a dead run and we'll have to turn for about 180 degrees to stop. So in this wind direction, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to, as we look at it, over to the right, we'll jibe over there and then come back in on a reach and then turn into the wind. I'm just going to jibe here to set up our approach. There we go, very nice, and the jib can come across. Okay, so if we were completely unsure about how to approach, or if it looked like it's just a lot going on in there, or if we've been asked to stop, this is the position where we'd want to stop the boat, and we can stop the boat. We'll just demonstrate this here by turning it into the wind without pulling the sails in, or in fact by having the sails really loose, and then the boat will just stay stopped there until you do something. We'll drift very slightly sideways, but largely we'll be stopped. Okay, and then when we're ready to go, we'll just pull in a little bit of jib, a little bit of main sheet and traveller, and then we're going to come out wide in this direction. So we've got a moored catamaran here. We're going to make sure we give that as much distance as possible. The way we can avoid having a disaster or some sort of event is just by having a look around, so spatial awareness and thinking ahead about what we're going to do and how we're going to get past things. Okay, so we're going to go for our jibe around here, and in fact at this point I'm just going to let the jib fly. So here we go, jibing again. For your jibing tips, check out the downwind and jibing video, which will address that. And at this point I'm going to let the downhaul off as well, and that means that when we get in we don't have to worry about that. So here we've actually got a yellow buoy that marks the edge of the swimming area next door. So we're going to make sure we don't go into the swimming area, and then we're just going to need enough room to stop. So we're going to bear away a little bit more, and we're going to bring the boat in nice and close to the beach, and then we're going to push hard with the rudders to stop. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to the beach, and we're going to push hard with the rudders just here. You can see we've got lots of space in front of us, and then to stay stopped we're just going to keep the rudders across. And unfortunately our Wildwind valet parking service didn't come to our rescue, so what I'll do is I'll jump over the front of the boat here and then grab the boat at the front. You'll notice I didn't take the main sheet off. We don't want to take the main sheet off until the boat is attached to the mooring, or until somebody else is definitely holding the boat on the inside at the front here. The reason we leave the main sheet attached is so that if for any reason we need to start sailing again, like if the boat gets away from us a little bit, then with the main sheet on we will be able to sail. Also, with the main sheet on, it means the boat isn't going to be able to just bear away indefinitely and sail off on its own. It's going to always head up into the wind if the main sheet is attached. Okay, so then we're just going to walk up to the mooring. Of course, here at Wild Wind, one of these guys in an orange shirt should be doing this for you. It's the valet parking that we offer. And then we'll hook the boat on. Very nice. And there we are. Okay, so the moorings that we have a heavy weight, which is actually a car tyre filled with concrete, then a buoy and a carabiner. And then for our mooring, we have a loop of rope. So that clips on there and it clips onto the wire. And then that's that done. Okay, so we've stepped it up a little bit here. We're now on a Hobie FX1, which is a single-handed catamaran which has dagger boards, and it's the dagger boards which are going to make the difference here. So we need to look at how we're going to manage those. All right, so we're in this position similar to where we were with the 15 before. So dagger board management, the easiest way to bring up the dagger board on one side is to do it while you're sat next to it. And for heading back in, we're going to get the dagger board. We've got a downwind mark here, we're going to bring it up a little bit more. If you're sailing somewhere like Wild Wind where there's people who are going to help you, don't take it out completely, because if it's out completely from the beach it looks exactly the same as if it's all the way down. So this will give the guys on the beach the reassurance that you have got your dagger boards lifted. So then to get the other dagger board up, we're actually going to tack. There we go. If you're not sure about the tacking, do check out the video on tacking on Joyrider TV. So now we can bring the other dagger board up to a similar position. And the same as before, we're going to get the boat ready nice and early. So on here, all we have to do is let the downhaul off. If we were sailing a Tiger or anything that had a jib as well, we take care of the jib now as well. If we had a rolling jib, we could roll the jib, of course. So exactly the same procedure now as before. We're just going to come to the side here and then we'll jibe so that we've got the maximum amount of space to head up. Just checking that we're still filming. Okay, so once again there's this big catamaran here, so I'm just making sure I give that plenty of space. I'm having a look around for anything else on the water which may cause a problem, but it does look like everything is okay. There's just this one windsurfer in front of us and we can have a think about where he's going to go. So what we'll do is the polite thing, and we'll go behind him before we jibe, just so we're not going to get in the way of where he's going. Let's be polite. Okay. So if we were to jibe here, we'd end up straight at the windsurfer. So we'll go a little bit further and we're going to jibe here. Do check out the video on jibing on Joyrider TV, of course. Okay. And then here we go. Now we're just trying to take the speed down a bit, so I'm going to let the traveller quite a long way out now. And the main thing here is we're giving ourselves as much space as possible to head up into the wind. So I'm going to bring the boat down a little bit here. And we're going to bring it in nice and close to the beach. Of course, the shallower the water is that you stop your boat in, the easier it will be to hold the boat. If the water's deep, it will be a lot harder to hold the boat. So we're bringing the boat in nice and shallow before we stop. Okay, about level with the inside moorings, which is just there. Now I'll turn up towards the wind. And I'm just going to hold the rudders across there. Once again, our valet parking service hasn't arrived, so I'm going to get off the boat at the front. I'll grab the bridle wire and now we can pull the boat upwind. So you'll notice once again I've left the main sheet on. That's for exactly the same reason why we did that before. Don't take the main sheet off until either the boat is clipped onto a mooring or you've got somebody else holding the boat at the front, because it means that you still have options. Okay, so then we'll just hook this bad boy on and then we're done. Okay, nice parking. Okay, so yeah, maybe you weren't expecting this, but now we are in a laser. We're just going to go through the same procedure in the laser, just so that you know what to do if you happen to be in a laser. Or in any kind of monohull, it's pretty much the same. Depends a little bit on how long your rudder is. On a laser, of course, the rudder is quite short, so we don't really need to do anything. Okay, so we'll start off. We want to be going the other way for starters, so we're just going to tack here. Okay, and this is where we are. Okay, so we've tacked. Next, as part of our preparation, we're going to bring the dagger board up. Not so high that it will catch on the boom, but just a little bit lower than that. And now we're going to sail a little bit downwind into a similar spot where we jibed with the catamaran. We can let the kicker off at this point as well. Okay, the wider that we take it, the easier it will be. And remember, this is just for the onshore wind. If we're getting cross-shore wind, we don't want to be coming this far in this direction. Okay, so here we could either jibe, or if you're not so sure about jibing, you could tack round. What do you think, jibe or tack? Okay, we'll go for the long tack round. So it's just a long way round, but perhaps if you're not too sure about your jibing technique, then the tack might be the safer way. Okay, so here we are on a similar approach vector to before. Our dagger board is up, kicker's off, mainsail, it's reasonably well eased. On this boat we're leaving the rudder cleated down, but on any double-handed boats it would be worth releasing the cleat that holds the rudder down, so if you do touch the bottom, then the rudder will just come up when it touches. Okay, so here we are, and once again we're going to bring the boat nice and close into the beach, because that's going to make it a lot easier to hold. One last thing we could do is make sure the ropes aren't tied around our feet, so as we go to get out of the boat we're not going to be in a tangled mess. So now we're quite close in, we've got loads of space. I'm just going to turn the boat towards the wind, and there we go. You see the sails completely flapping there, which means we don't have any power. So now I could just slide in, and as with all of the boats, it's always better to hold it towards the front. That'll mean the boat will sit into the wind and it won't try to sail off without you.